How we all doing? Woo! Y'all look so beautiful and so black and so wonderful and so I'm so happy. How are you? Give yourself a round of applause for being here today. I'm Rodney Earl Jackson Jr. I'm the producer of the Season of Black Art here at the AAACC, the African American Art and Culture Complex. Yes, yes, yes. We have some exciting things for you today. We're celebrating black theater, we're celebrating black film, and I also want to let you all know that we have two other things happening. There is a photo booth at the end of the hallway. You can go get family portraits or a portrait of yourself. And there is a dreaming session where you can have some confessional, personal moments at the end of the hall. But up here today, we're going to have two theater productions. The first being from Thomas Simpson's Afro Solo. Let's give him a round of applause. Thomas has been around with his solo project, Afro Solo, for over 27, 30 years. My God. Office is right upstairs. Yes, this is an African-American black theater living legend, and he's going to bring a piece that he also brought to the New Roots Theater Festival, which is the theater company I run, SF Batco. But let me get out of here because there's a lot going on, and I'm going to let Thomas take on over.
Thank you very much, Rodney. As he said, it's been 30 years, and my legs kind of tell it. What we're going to do today is I'm sort of going to do a test right now in the sense that we're going to have a theater piece, and there won't be any microphones. So he's going to be speaking from the voice. This is the first time we've done it in this space, and I hear some kind of fan going. I don't know if we can turn that fan off. Oh, I may have a lavalier. Oh, okay, great. Oh, so I don't have to worry about anything. As Rodney with Batco is so apt at doing with his team, he has everything taken care of. Thank you, Mr. Rodney. What you're going to see is an excerpt from a piece called There Is No Hatred Here. It's a piece that similarly based on black history, based on my family's history. Some real events are talked about in this piece. What you'll see is kind of like a rehearsal. So if he makes a mistake and decides to go over and do something, please forgive him, because we haven't done this in a good little while. As you watch it, I'd like for you to kind of see what emotions go through you, see what things go through your mind, what reads as real for you, what reads as, dramatic license that I have. You are only going to see about 2/3 of the piece because there's so much going on tonight. The gentleman who will be performing is Marcus J. Page. Marcus is a wonderful actor. He's also an opera singer, so one day maybe we get to hear him sing opera. But most of all, I just want to say thank you for being here and sharing this event with us tonight. Okay? So please let me bring Marcus to the stage. Where does it live? Where does it live?
My brothers and sisters, I'm glad you all came tonight. Now, I know this was a special request, but I want to talk to you before you start to hearing the rumors that I've changed, that I'm not the same brother I used to be. I want you to know that I am the same person who walked the picket lines with you, the same person who got beaten by the police like some of you, the same person who started the Feed the Children program, and the same person who started our very own Neighborhood Watch program. I am proud of what we have done, and we've got a lot more to do. I am the same person, but I want you to know that I do see some things differently. Some of you may remember, I just released my latest book, White Man 40 acres and a mule don't equal freedom. I dedicated. And there was a book signing party. Now, the signings for my first two books, White Man, Go Back to Your Caves, dedicated to George Wallace, and White Man, I'll Meet You in Hell, dedicated to J. Edgar Hoover, were at small black bookstores. This one was being held at one of the major chain stores. Now, the press was there. The cameras were flashing all over. Now, you know how hard it is to get the press, especially the white press, to cover a black book signing. More people than I had anticipated showed up. Now, I expected to sign 50 to 75 books the entire day. I signed 50 the first hour, and the line kept growing. And we hadn't ordered enough books. They kept coming. I got hot, started sweating, and there was this loud buzzing chatter throughout the entire store. Keep up the good work. Congratulations. I have always admired you. We need brave brothers like you out there on the front lines. People said all kinds of things to me. A couple of times I just wanted to laugh, but they were so serious I had to hold myself. Now, I saw her, but I didn't really see her. You know how you can look at somebody but not really see them? Now, she was rather plain from what I remember. She smiled, I smiled. She placed the book in front of me. I was about to sign it when she pulled something from her sweater and lunged towards me. It happened so fast, yet it felt like it was in slow motion. I saw this shiny metal thing coming towards me. It was surreal, like it wasn't really happening. Now, I rose up to ask, "What's going on?" And that's when it came in. Precious Lord, Daddy, why do I have to walk a mile when there's a school 4 blocks away? Take my hand. Daddy, why can't I go to the Dixie 5 and 10 cent store? Lead me on, let me stand. Lord, come on and take your soldier on home. I want to go be with my Lord. Do you want to be with the Lord? If you want to get into heaven, you got to hear the gospel from the good book. You got to believe it, confess all of it, repent, and go down in a watery grave if you want to get into heaven. By the age of 6, I knew that better than most of the grown-ups in church. I had heard it many times. My father heard it many times from his father. I was expected to say it many, many times. Do unto others what you would have them do unto you. That's what he said. The Lord's will be done. We prayed a lot. Prayer changes things. Prayer can change water into wine or move any big mountain. Prayer changes things. Daddy, why do I have to walk a mile when there's a school 4 blocks away? That's just the way it is, sonny boy. But the Lord is working on it. Now, why can't I go into the Dixie 5 and 10 cent store? There's nothing you need in there, sonny boy. Well, why do mama gotta go in the back door of the lady house she cleaned for? So she can buy you clothes to go to church in. I knew something was wrong. Five fourths plus 2/4 equals 7/4. That equals 7/4, which equals 1 3/4. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around? I am a man. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave? Daddy, some of the big kids left school early today. They said they freedom marchers. Can I be a freedom marcher next week? No, sonny boy. I don't want you getting mixed up with that bunch. You got to be careful. They are trying to get too much too fast. You got to wait and take it easy. But my 17-year-old sister was not willing to wait. Against my father's orders, she went. Something happened. A couple weeks later, I found out. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Me and a couple of my friends left school early that day. We walked downtown to the Tennessean Theater. Now, to go in, you know, you've got to follow these arrows that leads to an alley, that leads to a door, that leads to some steps, that leads to a balcony where they make us watch the movie. They make us sit on these benches, and they ain't got no cushions. We decided that we wanted to sit anywhere we want. So we didn't go in that day. We sat in front of the theater and started singing and praying. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. About 15 minutes later, the fire and police department showed up and told us to disperse. disperse. They just told us to leave. But we didn't. They gave us 2 extra minutes. And then they turned on the hoses. The force from one of them was so strong, it knocked my friend Josie down and just washed her down the street. You could see the trickles of blood where her face scraped against the street. Then they let the dogs loose. I started running. There was this screaming, the sirens, and the barking dogs and fire hoses. I ran, but I could see those billy clubs going up and down. One police was hitting my friend Linda. He hit her on her jaw when she was on the ground. Blood come gushing out of her mouth. 2 dogs was chewing on Michael's stomach and leg. He was screaming. Now, I tripped and fell. And that's when he got me. He hit me on my head, my back, my sides, my hips, and my legs. He hit me everywhere. I wanted him to stop. I thought I was going to die. It hurt so bad. We shall not be moved. When he did stop, another one drugged me to a paddy wagon. My hip was dislocated. They had to put a metal clip in it. I still got it. The doctor told me I may never be able to have no children. But I'm going again next week. And don't you tell Daddy. I got to, so you won't have to. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Mama! Mama, Dr. King is on the TV. Mama, he's talking about dreaming. Oh, Mama, there's a whole lot of people there. And they all like him. I like this dream too. But a few weeks later, I woke up. Daddy, they said some racists blew up a church in Birmingham. They killed 4 little girls. I'm sad. Daddy, why'd they do it? Sonny boy, There's some good white people and some bad ones. The bad ones ain't living the way God wants them to. Mr. Petway came running into my 6th grade class. Turn on the TV. What? Mr. Crutchfield said. Turn on the TV, Mr. Petway said as he ran out the door. Mr. Crutchfield ran to the TV and turned it on, but nothing happened. I noticed it was unplugged, so I plugged it in. After it warmed up, Mr. Cronkite came on and said something like, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy has been shot and is dead. We all just stared at the TV. It was then that I started thinking things would not change the way my father wanted them to. June 6, 1966 was the day James Meredith started his walk from Memphis to Jackson. And they shot him. He was just walking down the street trying to give us courage. I remember thinking, how much more are we going to have to take? I can't take no more. Now, we're going to have to do something. The next day, I heard Stokely Carmichael say Black Power, and I liked it. I knew what I wanted. Black Power. Black Power. Black Power. Black Power. Sonny boy. I don't want you going on that march today. It's not the right thing to do. This is something we've got to pray about. And pray? I am 16. Pray about what? Oh, Lord, don't let them beat me today. Don't let the dogs chew on me. I'm tired of praying. Prayer ain't getting us nowhere. Like Stokely Carmichael said, we got to fight to get what we want, old man. Don't you ever talk to me. Sonny boy, not all white people are bad. There's still some good white people out there. I was just a little boy, a lot younger than you. I always wanted me my own horse. That summer, I worked 2 acres of tobacco. It was a good summer. I earned my money and bought me a horse. I named her Josie May. And I would ride Josie May up and down the road, kicking up lots of dust. People would stop and stare. Some would laugh. Others would just shake their heads. One day, Mama sent me to the general store to get some flour and sugar. And outside the store, there were these 2 white boys drinking cold drinks. I saw them looking at Josie May as I was tying her up. And they watched me go into the store. I got Mama's flour and sugar. And as I was about to buy it, I saw one of the boys untying Josie May. And I ran to the door and told him to leave her alone. But he kept untying her. I decided I didn't want no trouble. I was going to get her, go home, and come back later. When one of the boys grabbed me, then both of them started pushing on me and hitting me and calling me names. They told me I didn't need no horse like that. I don't remember pulling out the tobacco knife. I just remember swinging it. I cut one on the arm and the other one on the chest. They started screaming. People come running from out the store. And they're all white. I tried telling them that they were trying to steal my horse, but they wouldn't listen. Two big men started coming towards me. "We gonna get you, boy." I started running. I ran into the woods and I lost them. I ran 5 miles to my Aunt Ione's house. And I told her what happened. And she got scared. She went and got Daddy, and they came back with the sheriff. Daddy was shaking. He looked like he knew something I didn't. The sheriff told me, "Boy, we gonna have to take you into jail for your own protection." It was dark when we got there, and a crowd was waiting. When they saw me, they started yelling, "Let us take care of the nigger!" They started jaking me and pushing me. Somebody tried to throw a rope around my neck. The sheriff had to hustle me into the jailhouse. In the jail, all I could do was pray. I heard them yelling, "Hang him! Hang him!" All of a sudden, it got quiet. I got scared, wondering what they were doing. Then I heard my daddy's boss talking. And he wasn't yelling. Everybody knew who he was. "Well, I want you all to go on home. I know this boy. His daddy is one of my best niggerers. I don't want a hair on his head harmed. Y'all hear me?" Nobody said nothing. He walked into the jailhouse and told the sheriff to let me out, that he would be taking me home. I knew right then that it was the Lord that sent him to save me. I promised the Lord that day that I would never have the hate in me that I felt from that crowd. And to this day, I done kept my promise.
I love the theater. Don't we love the theater? Love the theater. A space where we can like handle some, my dear friend Aida Pirzada said this, discourse in a healthy way. You know, there's a lot of discourse in the world, but this is a space where we can handle it in a healthy, you know, responsible way. So without further ado, I want to introduce the next group, which is SF Recovery, coming to the stage. Oh, wait, before that, that was Afro Solo, Thomas Simpson, featuring Marcus J. Page, just in case you came in a little later. Yes. You can find more from Afro Solo at afrosolo.org, I believe, or you could just Google Afro Solo or Thomas Simpson. They're an incredible organization here in the Fillmore at AAACC. All right, Mr. Greer, may I hand it over to you? And should I get your mics to the, I'll go give them to them, but you take this one here.
Hello, can you hear me? Heck? Boy, oh boy. Rodney, you got me on microphones. Can somebody remove the Bible? Thank you. I don't want to start nothing. Well, I'm going to need that. Yep. I will need it, and I will set the stage for my actors. I just wanted to go ahead and kind of give an overview and say, Rodney, thank you for having us. My name is Jeffrey. They call me Mr. Jeffrey Greer. I'm the executive director, San Francisco Recovery Theater. And now that we have a lively crowd, Recovery Theater, we have a tradition generally before we start, because a lot of people have fear around that name, recovery. You know, they think it's a bad thing. It has some kind of negative connotation. Recovery is nothing more than change. We are constantly in a state of change. And sometimes some of us stumble. Sometimes some of us surge ahead. But we are always in a process of change. So let's just accept that. And I think we need to level the playing field. Now, there are no police officers in here. We're not trying to get y'all in trouble or in jail or anything, but we want everybody to understand that we're all on the same level, okay? So, are there any crackheads in the audience tonight? In recovery or out? No crackheads. Nobody in here ever smoked crack. Okay. Okay. All right. That's okay. Anybody fool around with heroin? Any downtown travelers? No opiate addicts? I said heroin. I didn't get to fentanyl yet. I didn't get to the fent freaks yet, but you heroin. Okay, we got a heroin? Thank you, baby. Thank you. Okay. Any speed freaks? Midnight tweakers? No speed freaks? Nobody, no speed freaks, huh? Okay, any fentanyl freaks? Ah. How about some weed smokers? We got any weed smokers? Oh, here we go. Any drinkers? Any drinkers? We got some drinkers in the house? Okay. We'll get to that, baby. Any pill poppers? Any pill poppers? Got some pill poppers? Sir, you can just keep your hand up. Do we have any cigarette smokers? Anybody still smoking cigarettes? One. Think about that. Anybody hooked on shopping? Anybody hooked on the internet? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let me rephrase that. Anybody hooked on their phone? Thank you. Anybody hooked on love? Anybody hooked on anger? Come on now. Come on now. Go ahead. I see your hand, brother. Thank you very much. He's doing this. He was trying to help himself up. But you spoke the truth, brother, because, you know, we all have to look at it. Anybody hooked on going to the penitentiary? Incarceration. Some people can't help that. They can't survive on the outside. Right? Anybody hooked on sex? Oh, man, come on. Not one person held their hand up. Now, you know what? We in a room full of cheaters, baby. Ain't nobody held their hand up at all. So nobody hooked on sex at all. Okay, now one person. Okay. I see what we're dealing with here. But that's okay. If you didn't raise your hand, you can look to the left. And you can, thank you, brother. Thank you. And look to the right. Because that means you're in good company. You're in good company. This piece was originally written by me, and I decided to use several different components with it. And theater is always ritualistic. It's magical. There's things that happen during the production of a piece that we can't and don't have any control over as artists. Those of you that are into the craft know what I mean. This piece was originally done and a takeoff on my father's book, Black Rage. Okay? Those of you that are old enough, you may remember. For those of you that aren't, Google it. That's all I can tell you. Google it. Take a look at it. Okay? This book was epic. But before we get there, let's first set the stage, shall we? I'm going to read you a little bit You know I can't see, so bear with me. You know, there is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. This is the dimension of imagination. It's an area we call the Twilight Zone. Now hold on, let me do my little thing here. I had it all set. Let me get my little thing set. Yeah, yeah, there we go. There we go. Let us fast forward to 1968. We find ourselves in San Francisco, a city that once boasted a booming and contemporary African American population. And with them came a thriving art and jazz scene with so much notoriety. It was once known as Harlem of the West. The height of the Black Power civil rights movement, which included the Black Arts movement. The African American Civil Rights Movement of 1954 to 1968 and the outcome of the 1960s Black Power movement spawned a new era of academic validation. In a first time ever documentation by two black psychiatrists, the effects of racism were put on full display. Dr. William H. Greer and Dr. Price Cobbs penned Black Rage, a book that was required reading in high school and in college. And I was just informed by my podcast expert, you know I need one because all I know how to do is that. He informed me that it's book 9,000 still on the education classification, which means it is still being used as a literary documentation, a research material of higher education. I didn't even know that, just found this out. Okay? They authored Black Rage. They also opened Pacific Psychotherapy Lab right over there on Sacramento Street. You know, walking distance from here. A laboratory that allowed African Americans and African American allies to deal with some of the trauma that existed in racism, with racism, from a purely academic perspective, a mental health perspective, and a social justice perspective. For the first time, we were validated, our feelings, our emotions, what we saw, what we thought. Now, I was just a little kid at that time. All I wanted to do was go to Disneyland. Show, man, he wrote a book. I don't care about that book. I want my Mickey Mouse ears. I was a little kid. Because I didn't understand, like many people, what the power of a medical psychiatrist that is black is. Now, here's another note. The same amount of black psychiatrists that existed in 1960 is the same amount that exists now, today. Go on, go try one. Go try to find one. I'll give you a minute, because that's all it's going to take you. In any case, this piece was inspired by their trials and tribulations and my view, my vantage point. I pulled several friends together to help me put this together. And I'm not going to bore you with the details. I think I'll let the story tell itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Psych.
Ah, yes. Send them in. Hello. Come on in, Bill. Have a seat or, stretch out on the couch.
Thanks, Doc. I know the routine. How you doing?
Full schedule as usual.
But don't complain. At least you work for yourself.
Now, work. Speaking of work, now, how's it going at work? Now, the last time we talked, you said that there were people talking behind your back and that you believe that they were forming some sort of agenda against you, but you had no concrete proof.
It's still going on. Only they must think I'm on to them because they stop talking to change the subject when they see me coming. They think they so smart. Things have been kind of messed up at work. One of the supervisors recently retired, and I was next in line because of my position. But somehow or another, another fella got the job instead of me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a good guy and all. It's just that I was next in line, you know? So I go to the white man, Mr. Charlie's office. He's the owner. And I asked him why I didn't get the position. Mr. Charlie really didn't give me an answer. He just said next time. Well, this is the third time in 5 years I've been passed over. I mean, things are building up, you know. It's getting to a point where I can't take it anymore. I mean, I was raised correct and proper. Every day of my life, I rise and shine and go to work and do exactly what I'm supposed to. Yet, I'm still right where I started. Just another strong back. It's like someone or something has it in for me. But God be praised, and with your help, I know that I just have some mental health issues. I mean, why would anybody consciously have it in for me?
Well, I could hazard a guess.
What? What does that mean?
Are you really sure of what you were saying? Are you really not responsible for your position in life?
What are you saying? Understand this, doctor. I haven't missed a day of work in 10 years. I don't drink or smoke. I didn't graduate high school, but I got my GED. And I am now studying 2 hours a day, every day, for my doctorates. Now you tell me, doctor, how exactly am I at fault for my position in life?
Well, I am a doctor. And as such, I've taken a sworn oath, the first of which is to do no harm. However, as a black man, one who has been in rooms that you have not, I feel compelled to remind you of who you are and what you are doing. You can work as hard as you want. You can do everything you're supposed to do and not get ahead. Why? Because of the one thing you cannot change, the color of your skin. Hell, I worked hard too. Went to the right schools. See them sheepskins on the wall, brother? They don't say community college. They say Harvard and Yale. Yeah. And those rooms I let in too. Yeah, they let me in. They're nice too. Wood paneling everywhere. Big old leather sofas, just like in the movies. But if I had to count how many times another member asked me to get them a gin and tonic, I'd run out of fingers and toes. Yes, I am a doctor. Make a good living, too. Big house in the suburbs. Hell, even married a white woman. But there's no doubt that I started out with more than you.
Like what?
My great-grandfather was a doctor. My grandfather was also a doctor. And my father was a doctor. Now, what did you think that I was supposed to grow up to be? Huh? Bill, we've been doing this a long time, so I can tell when you're lying. So I believe you when you tell me that you have worked hard to get ahead. Now, as your doctor, my diagnosis is there's absolutely nothing wrong with your mental health. Not a damn thing.
I am not stupid, doctor. And I wasn't born yesterday. I knew I was black the day I was born. This ain't the birds and bees we talking about. I know when I'm getting fucked. Nigga, please.
Well, who do you think that you are talking to? I will not allow that word. That word is one of a collective of psychological tools utilized by the perpetrators of the slave trade to mentally break down their shackles. It was a word bestowed on us by a people, and at a time that those people held our race in low self-esteem. It is profane, and I will not allow it in my presence, let alone in my office. You have got to remember that word means property.
Forgive me, my brother. I didn't mean to upset you. I'm just asking you how to deal with reality. My reality, doctor, not yours. Please, please, give me something. A technique, some pills, anything, doctor, please.
I've got nothing for you. Bill, this disease is terminal. The patient is America. And this reality is one we all share.
Hello.
Good afternoon. I see you're new.
You think?
I wasn't trying to, What is it that brings you in to see me?
Surely you're not blind, doctor. And you can see my face.
Yes. There seems to be some sort of paint or makeup on one half of your face. I wasn't sure if that was intentional or by accident.
Does this really look like something I would do on purpose? This is evidence that I've been infected with the disease. The disease of white supremacy? Are you sure you're a doctor? The only thing deliberate is me not covering it up so you can see what I'm dealing with.
Besides carrying a microphone around, you seem agitated. So, I'm going to ask you, what is it that we can talk about that'll possibly relieve what's on your mind?
On my mind.
Yes.
On my mind?
Yes.
I'll tell you what's on my mind. You.
I don't understand.
I heard what you told your previous patient, and I saw what he looked like when he left. And you call yourself a psychiatrist? Nigga, please. Nigga, please. Nigga, please.
Look, you are going to have to stop using that word, or you're going to have to leave.
Oh, shut up, you witch doctor ass motherfucker. You don't know what a nigga is. So I'm gonna tell you what a nigga is.
I think I know what a nigger is, and I don't want to know if I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you anyway. You see, I know niggas. I studied niggas. Back from when I used to be real crazy. You see, the proud African was beaten down from Kunta Kinte to Toby. Perhaps level 1 of his psycholinguistic crisis, who am I, what is my name? For you see, once he got to the Americas, he was no longer Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, or Ashanti, but Negro. Of course, he retained some of his African consciousness within the deep construct of his mind. That tells you what a nigga is. It's in the bowels of his soul. It's how he expressed his dance, his love life, his work habits, his song, his shout. But basically, he was a traumatized victim of kidnapping, rape, mass murder, genocide. For you see, once it was all said and done, millions of his brothers and sisters were lost in the Middle Passage. The voyage from Africa to America.
Yes.
Thrown to the sharks that trailed the slave ships, one of which whose name was Jesus. Perhaps the same one whose captain had the miraculous conversion and wrote Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. That sounds good, right? Changing the African into Negro was a primary problem in terms of identity, and it still exists today. Even as we speak, there's an entire generation in crisis trying to decide what they want to be called. Do they want to be called Americans, Africans, Afro-American, Bilalian, Sudanese, Kimite, North American Africans? We are Africans on the continent of North America. And as such, we are unique and have created an original African culture in North America, imitated by all. The entire world wants to talk like us, sing like us, dress like us, dance like us, love like us. We have the highest standard of living of any Africans in the entire world, and yet we are still captive, colonized, and exploited 24/7 by any pimp fearless enough to enter the ghetto. And there are many from across the world. wherever he is, wherever he's from, is a sick man, mentally ill. And as Franz Fanon pointed out, the only way a colonized man can regain his mental health is through the act and process of revolution. You're so blinded by the psycholinguistic psychosis of the word nigga that you couldn't even see what your patient was trying to express to you. Even in your demented state, you should recognize and be proud that he acknowledged you as family. As a nigga. Nigga.
Interesting concept.
Oh, okay. I'm going back to my original doctor. Thank you for your time.
Miss, may I ask who that is?
Oh, yeah. Hold on, wait. It's in here somewhere. There it is. His name is Dr. Extra. And word of advice, doctor, heal thyself.
That's ridiculous. Oh, goodness. What a day. What an incredible day. Oh. Jesus. Jesus. Oh, wait. Oh. Hello? Hello? Yes. This is Dr. Richard May. Yes, I would like to make an appointment with a Dr. Extra. On my way. Thank you.
Okay, sit him in. Dr. May, how are you?
I've been better.
Well, have a seat.
Thank you.
I'd like to begin with a rhetorical question, just to break the ice.
Sure, why not?
Have you paid your pussy bill?
Have I paid my pussy bill? I have never paid for pussy in my life, Doc.
Okay, let's move on.
Oh.
I understand you have a psycholinguistic crisis. You have a problem with the N-word or nigger.
I just hate the word, Doc.
You hate the word. Do you realize it's $1 billion word thanks to the hip-hop generation? $1 billion word.
Don't care. It is offensive to me, Doc, and I will not use the word.
You know what? You sound like you're just cherry picking the English language.
Well, it is the only language I know.
Have you ever studied any other language? Yoruba, Arabic, Hausa, Twi?
No.
Well,
Where is this going?
Look, what I want to do is to get you beyond the Western psycholinguistic paradigm. I want to help you and maybe get you healed in the process so you can heal your patients. But let's talk about it in the next session.
Uh-huh. It's a lot to chew on, Doc.
It's a lot for you to chew on.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I have some other things for you.
yeah, shoot. Go ahead.
I hear you like to pill pop and you drink a bit. Have you ever heard of harm reduction?
Yes.
Well, you know what it means. Can you just cut it down a notch or two? What do you think?
I can try.
Well, there's another term called neuroplasticity. Basically, it means change your brain, get in a new environment, and your brain changes. New environment, new brain. Your brain cells change.
So
Have you thought about maybe doing some R&R, taking a vacation? When was the last time you had a vacation?
Oh, vacation? I go on vacation. I went on a vacation. It was I took my wife, and I actually can't remember the last time I was on vacation.
Oh, you can't remember?
No.
Well, I suggest you book a cruise.
To where?
Anywhere. Get the hell out of America. Huh?
Well, I'll try it.
Really?
I mean, look, you're hitting me with a lot of this,
I want
African magic hoodoo. I mean, you want me to take everything that I learned, and you know that it took me a long time to become a certified psychiatrist, certified by the white man. Now, you want me to take all of that and throw it out the window and become a witch doctor like you?
It might help you in your healing process. It might expand your healing portfolio. Why don't you chew on it?
It's a lot to chew on, Doc.
Well, I got some other things I want you to consider.
Go right ahead. Fire away.
What about neuroplasticity? As I told you a moment ago, change your environment, change your brain. But you can go further. You can deal with, let's call it, the mind-brain game. We're going to skip ahead. Let's deal with the mind-brain game.
Sure.
I want you to get over psychotherapy, and let's go to brain therapy.
Why not?
You know, you may be suffering a nutritional deficiency. Think about it. Think of the mind as hardware. Think of the brain, as hardware, and the mind as software. Huh?
Well,
Now look at this. If you heal your brain, guess what? Your mind and your ass will follow.
interesting concept.
Dr. May, I've had enough of you for today. I'll see you in 2 weeks, and hopefully you'll come with a better attitude. See my lady out front, pay her some money, and put some pep in your step.
Thank you. Doc,
What is it? What's now? What?
What about this?
That white shit on your face?
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. That's a minor problem. It's external. We're going to deal with the internal.
Is it fatal?
It's not fatal. You have white supremacy type 2. Type 1 is the shit that fucks you up. You got type 2. So there's hope. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Secretary, I want to talk to my friend Dr. Nathan Hare. I need help. Would you give me an appointment with him? Thank you.
Stay right there, Marvin. Ladies and gentlemen, the psych. I think it's only proper, Verna Medeiros, stand up. Patient number 1. My friend and compatriot, Eric Ward, as the infamous Dr. May, named after a friend of mine that contributed to this script. And of course, we want to introduce Phoenix. 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 And this gentleman, and I do use the word loosely, this gentleman here is my partner. He taught me to fish, okay? He taught me to fish. This is my partner, Marvin X, living legend.
Yes.
This is a work in progress. As you can tell, we have many more patients, many more topics, many more subjects. So stay tuned, 2024, and was told to me, don't hesitate, check your dipstick. You might be a quart low, okay? Let's all get better together. Thank you so much. Rodney, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we got one more little ditty for you. We're trying to keep it quick. What's so wonderful about the Season of Black Art is that they're going to be supporting San Francisco Bay Area Theater Company, SF Bacco's production of Sign My Name to Freedom, the unheard songs of Betty Reed Soskin. So without further ado, can I have the cast and creative team join us on stage? Let's give them a round of applause. Come on and join us. Join us. Leave your fears to And April, do we have some microphones already? We have one. Do we have one more? No? Okay, we're all good. All right. This is our creative team and some of the artists from Sign My Name to Freedom. We are so excited about this project. Miss Betty Reed Soskin is a legend. Some of her family are here today. But first, I'm going to set this off with talking and introducing our director. Michael G. Sullivan, can you stand for us? Sorry, writer. Lord. Michael G. Sullivan, can you stand for us? Yes. Our director, Elizabeth Carter. Our music director, Angie, Dr. Kathleen Ridley, who will be playing Betty. And Aida Pirzada, who will be playing Mary Betty. You'll hear more about that later. Was it me? I'm so sorry. Was it me? I'm so sorry. Do you need are we all right? Are we all right? Am I still amplified? All right. Well, some of y'all are like, who's this Betty? Some people know who she is because she's an incredible human, but not everybody knows. So Michael Gene Sullivan Testing, testing.
Testing.
Yes. Can you tell us about Betty, who Betty is, and how you approached writing a musical about her life?
So, Betty Reed Soskin. It's hard to really kind of put her entire life into a short introduction, Rodney.
You're welcome.
I mean, many of us know her kind of famously as, you know, the oldest living park ranger, the person who really inspired the changes that came to be in the Rosie the Riveter National Park that's over in Richmond. Originally, they said, oh, we're going to do this park, and we're going to do it about all the stuff that happened in World War II. How everybody in America got together. How everybody kind of was part of the war effort, especially women. How women were part of the war effort. And while they were putting it together, one black woman put up her hand and said, wait a minute. The way you're telling this story is wrong. The way you're telling this story about all these white ladies with their little head rags on out there working for stuff is incorrect. First of all, the white women were struggling and had to work there, and with all of the black people who were dealing with the segregation, who couldn't be in the unions, who were put to work out there, the black women who were struggling to be part of learning all of these trades, all of these skills that they knew were not going to be able to get jobs after the war using them. They're going to be welders, they're going to be this, and then everyone's going to expect all the black people to go back into the fields and back into the slums and back into the kitchens. That she lived through all of that. She was part of that. So when they were putting together the Rosie the Riveter Park, when she put up her hand and said, you got to tell this story right, suddenly she came to prominence. Suddenly people were like, well, who is this person? What is her story? What was the story before Port Chicago? Before all those men died? Before the civil rights movement? Before the Black Power movement? What is the story of someone who came through that whole period? Someone who was born in the 20s and made it all and is still alive today and still with us and telling stories. So Betty Reed kind of encompasses in her life a great deal of the Creole, Negro, colored, black, African-American experience of the 20th century. And so...
Well, that's a hell of an intro.
Yeah.
About who Betty is.
And on top of all of that, in addition to all of the different lives that she's had, she was also a songwriter. And she wrote songs during the protest movements of the 60s and early 70s. And so she has this book of songs that are about our experiences, and that we managed to put that part of her life into the play. I won't go into it too much right now because we're going to talk about it later.
Thank you, Michael Jean Sullivan. Yes, some of you may not know, I'm going to reiterate. This is part of the team that's building the story. Next year, we're going to be producing the play, the musical of Sign My Name to Freedom at Z Space, opening in late March, running through April. And this team is building that story. Yes. Next, I want to introduce our director, Miss Elizabeth Carter. This is a sought-after director here in the Bay Area, y'all. She is busy, 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 and happens to be my former high school teacher of Shakespeare. So we run very, very, very deep. Miss Elizabeth, how you doing?
Hey.
Good, good.
Can you hear me?
A little bit.
A little bit. Wait, is this one?
Maybe that one works a little bit better.
This room is it has a funky sound. So, you know, normally I don't use a microphone because I've been in theater for about 20-something years, and I don't have to. But I just want to make sure everybody in the back can really hear.
I want to know what drew you to this script that Michael Jean Sullivan wrote, because I know you're busy as a director. So, like, what inspired you to want to produce or direct this piece? We'll produce it too. You're working on it with us, all of it. It's all encompassing.
Well, theater's always collaborative, right?
Always. So, like, in this moment, why this piece? Why Michael Jean Sullivan's script? Why Betty?
Well, I think the beautiful thing about doing this play, and the thing that drew me and that got me excited about it, to be honest with you, was the story of someone who's lived a significant span of time, but also the way that Michael wrote the script, which is to have someone be able to I won't say confront isn't the right word, but to be in dialogue, to rediscover, to learn from, and teach also their sort of former selves. So to go all the way back to childhood and to feel like you need something. What am I trying to put back together? What am I trying to learn? What am I trying to remember that makes me a whole human being, an integrated person? And so I was really fascinated by the way that the script sort of pulled apart, and we learned so much, but it was so active. It's like, you know, when you talk to yourself and you're like, I say to myself, okay, Carter, okay, what are you doing? You know, or okay, little Elizabeth, right? You know, we have those relationships with ourselves, and what is it to do that and to put that on stage? And then the other thing that got me really excited is the music is beautiful. And the idea of like building a musical sort of from scratch is like really exciting as an artist to me, and that it centers a Black woman who has really been a gift to the Bay Area. But not to just make it just a tribute, but make it something that we all can take with ourselves, you know, that we can take the story, see ourselves in it, and move forward with it. So that's really important to me, because we can, you know, there's ways to do it where it's just, you know, we can sing praises all day long, but we also need to be changed, and we also need to be moved, and we also need to heal ourselves and to move forward as a community and as individuals, and especially as Black women. So that was the piece that got me really excited about it. And then I just love to do things I've never done before, and I've never built a musical before, so that was
You
exciting
said something to me in one of our meetings. You said, after I read the script, I found so much positivity from it. Because, you know, theater can be about the intersection of a lot of conflict,
Yeah.
which is always hard. Sometimes there are hard moments we deal with in theater, you know, something you don't always want to deal with. But you said there was so much light and positive, and like her story means something that we need right now. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about inspiration. It's about continuing to strive, to continuing to like evolve as a human being, and to continue to like see to be striving to learn, to grow, to affect community, to pull us forward. I don't know, I just like, and also just I felt like the spirit of her just felt like someone who was really, truly alive, who was, you know, strong and a fighter, but also like someone who was really looking and listening and paying attention. And I just feel like but we also get to deal with the other important issues, but it's dealt with in a way that feels personal. And that, I feel like that feels really special too. So we leave feeling really uplifted and like we can do something.
That's why we do theater. Amen. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Miss Angie, she spoke about the music. Can you, Miss Music Director, can you, so Betty wrote so many songs in the 1960s, and even and they all cross different genres, different eras, different styles of music. How do you balance these styles and these themes to fit into one singular musical?
Well, the beautiful thing about Betty's songs, and she's very prolific, is that her lyrics and her melodies are ageless. And they're so beautiful and strong that they can be fit into many styles. So in answer to your question, Michael has taken Betty's songs, chosen the ones where the lyrics fit to further the story, and placed them within the timeline of Betty's entire life. So these songs were all written in the 60s-ish. And we're placing them from the 1920s on. So our job is to reimagine them with the styles that fit the timeline of Michael's script. And they're so good.
Are there certain styles that Betty kind of leans into in this?
Betty's, her original stuff is very kind of jazz and folk oriented. But it lends itself to be reimagined for her early life in New Orleans, for her life in Oakland as the music of blues and jazz and then R&B and then Tower of Power and all that stuff came up because the songs are so good. Right.
Amazing. Thank you, Angie.
You're welcome.
Yes. Miss Kathleen.
Yes.
Miss Kathleen Ridley is a special human being. She will be playing Betty in the production, which is a huge honor. She's like, oh, God, why you put all this pressure on me? Stop. Because we love you. So, Kathleen, Betty is 102 years old and alive and well. Can you talk about the moment you felt a connection to play this iconic woman? I mean, I know you were also in a production with some people who were when the inception of this idea came about. Can you talk about that moment?
This moment was a couple of years ago. I was in a show with Michael Jean and with Jamie Zimmer, who's back there, who this show is, I was going to say brainchild, but it's a heart child and soul child of Jamie's. And when they were in a rehearsal studio, I'm watching Jamie's face glow. And when something is happening inside of her spirit, she glows. And she's just said to me, do you know who Betty Reed Soskin is? And I said, well, yes, isn't she that park ranger? Is she still alive? Isn't she like 100? And she said, well, she actually is like 100. And I said, and then Jamie started telling me stories. You know about I was like, yeah, the Rosie the Riveter thing, I know that. Do you know about the writing the civil rights song? A little bit. Do you know about this? Do you know about this? Do you know about this? And then all of a sudden, I was just so moved and touched by living history, but also the present. It's not like Betty is something in the past. Betty is something that is with us from that time, living through us, and the honor of actually possibly having the opportunity to play her. I said to Jamie, when you do this, I want to play Betty. I'm your Betty. And I just said that, you just proclaim things out to the universe, and then I kept hearing, oh, I hear you're going to play Betty. What? I hear you're going to play Betty. What? And the more I got to know about Betty, the more terrified I became at that prospect, but the more honored I am to be able to open my heart and soul and hope to embrace so much of what she is, what she means, and how she lives to the world, and do honor to her and all of the extended family going all the way back to New Orleans and all of the children coming in the future. And I'm just thrilled to have that opportunity and deeply, deeply thankful.
Yes, yes. I got one more for you. Don't sit. Don't sit. Okay, so Miss Kathleen is a legend here in the Bay Area. I didn't talk about all my connections with everybody because we're running low on time, but we have our connection. Miss Kathleen recently starred as the Lion in The Wizard of Oz at ACT at the Tony Remby Theater, and now she's playing Miss Betty Reed Soskin in this show, these iconic characters. What's it like portraying these iconic, alive characters and humans?
I think there's always fear and trepidation because people have expectations about what these beings are, what they look like, what they sound like, what they do because of history. And I think that, like, with the Lion in The Wizard of Oz, everybody knows what the Lion in The Wizard of Oz does. And what I, as an actor, try to work on is go to the core of what is happening inside of that being. And the lion is scared. And at the core of this lion's being, this lion is scared and trying to learn to be brave by this journey with these friends, with Dorothy and with the Scarecrow and with the Tin Man. And so rather than looking at it as something big and scary out there, I have to look at it and find this character and these beings within me and try to express them in a way that we all as humans can connect to. And I think that's part of my journey as an actor, and what I hope to be able to do when I perform is to just find a way to have that human connection to all of these people we portray.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so
for
much.
asking.
Miss Aida Pirzada. Aida wears multiple hats. She's in the play and I'm going to say this all. Okay, Aida, where would this production be without you, my dear? From inception to here we are now, from the first New Roots Theater Festival, saying this has to be workshop, developed, this story is too important. From the second New Roots Theater Festival, you were co-directing Michael Jean Sullivan's First Pages, and now you're playing Married Betty. How has it been? What are your takeaways from that, and what are you most excited about moving forward in this process?
Can you hear me? Okay, yes. I think, I love that this piece has gotten to take so much time, and also that we are working swiftly. Michael's working very swiftly to bring from page to the stage, and seeing the way that different people have come together to ask questions. And I think as we've been in the room, one of my favorite things is actually that Michael keeps saying, and that, that's another play. And I think that that's so exciting, and hopefully audiences will walk away from the story curious. And Sign My Name to Freedom, we're so grateful to be able to name the show after Betty's memoir. And And there are so many stories. And I think one thing that Betty sort of is a torch for in a lot of ways is saying, you know, I'm one of many people. And so there is a sort of an inspirational curiosity that I think she inspires of what are the stories that you hold in your family? What are the elders that you need to listen to? Who are the little people in you that you need to talk to? And I think that the act of telling the story has really brought that about, because there's always a younger person, there's always an older person. That's always been the vision for the show, is that there has to be the breadth of her life. So that means that we have young people on stage with older people, and what does that mean to tell a story, to even have rehearsal? So.
I love that. Which leads me to, how do we get these diverse groups of people to come to the theater? I feel often it's so hard because all of us in this room, we probably, many of us, we're mainly black. Many of us probably don't always go to theater. We fit a certain genre. How do we get multiple different communities to come out to experience this?
Yes. Now I'm going to put on my other hat. Because I am the literary and outreach manager for SF Batco, which people have been shouting out all night. And one thing that we're doing to encourage the Bay Area to come out and see the show is actually launching an arts ambassador program. So we're looking for folks who are interested in seeing the show, who maybe have like a group of friends, a group of family, maybe it's your community center, maybe it's your church, maybe it's your sorority, to be like an ambassador and say, you know what, I'm gonna rally them. I'm gonna rally them to come see the show. You know, we have discounts, we have all kinds of things that we give to different groups, and we want the ambassadors to come and see the show at different stages, come to opening night, and really be a part of our theatrical community and get to know us, so that they're empowered to bring their community and connect to different spaces. Black people and people of color have been historically disenfranchised from participating in collective art spaces. And so we definitely, as a theater company, see that that work needs to be done. We have to rebuild those storytelling spaces that are continually taken away from us. And so that's something that I'm really excited about with this show, because it's a story about someone who is in and of the Bay Area. And so that's an opportunity for us to let that spirit fly and say, come, hear this story. You know, it's about this space and this place. And yeah.
God, I wish I could speak and think so prolifically as you sometimes. We do need to reinvent these spaces for us to tell our stories. My God. Woo. Yes. So if you want to find more about, yes. Go ahead, find more about this. Please go see Aida Pirzada. She'll have postcards and more information about signing up for being an art ambassador and just learning more. You can find me too, learning, or any of us, about the show, Sign My Name to Freedom, which is going to be opening in March of 2024. And but tickets are on sale now, which is super, super exciting. Do you want to finish off, Aida?
Yeah. Well, aren't we going to hear some song?
Oh, we are. Some talent. Well, let's thank our wonderful crew up here. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, sir. And now I want to invite the human being who helped bring all of these people on stage together. Without them, we would not have been inspired to create this work. This human being, their name is Jamie Zimmer. They're an incredible artist. I knew them when they were a child. When they were a child. And now they're going to sing the title song. And before they sing, I want to shout out something really important. Because what's important to me in community is family. Y'all went and got nachos earlier? So in that room, serving the nachos were my sister, my cousin, my brother-in-law, and then my nieces were all playing. Family, community. In the room right now is Betty Reed Soskin's daughter, Diara, and son, Robert. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Yes, if you understand, yep. That love is real. That love is real. Family is real. And now, thank you for bringing this family together. Take this one,
Check. All right, y'all. Can I just introduce myself really quick? Please. All right, you guys might be wondering, who is this person up here? I actually had the pleasure of meeting Betty when I was 18 or 19 years old. There was a concert that was going on, and the singer who was supposed to sing that night couldn't make it, so they called me. And that's where I met Betty Reed Soskin. I had to sing her music for the first time. since it had been found after disappearing in her closet for 50 years. So all this music, she was like, you probably have no idea what any of this is about. It was about Freedom Summer. It was about children in the ghetto. It was about all these things that I personally don't have any experience with. So she decided, I'm going to write you emails detailing what all of this is about, because I want to teach you the history. And she didn't have to do that for me, but she did. And I feel so grateful that she did, because I felt like a fear of mine when I was growing up was, I'm not going to know Black history. And I'm born in Essa Bay Area, and that's missing from the curriculum in the schools that I go to. So when she came into my life, that was my opportunity. When she said, Jamie, read my book. And I did. That was the first book I had read in many years since losing my love for school. And I found such a passion that one day I had a dream, and that dream was, I want to do something with Betty's music because it's current, it's now, it's happening. So I just emailed her one day. I was like, I don't know if she's going to email me back, but she did, and she gave me the green light to do whatever I wanted. And so since then, we've been working with her wonderful family, and her music has been being played by her son and Judy, Bob and Judy over here. And we're just so blessed to be able to be the messengers of the story. And so I hope all of you bring your 10 friends to come see our show, because if you need people to understand the history that we know is not being told about, this is the place to be. This is the place to bring people. And this is the place to celebrate history of the Bay Area, specifically Black history in the Bay Area. So with that, we're going to introduce one of her songs, which is the title of her memoir, Sign My Name to Freedom. This song is about the Freedom Summer movement, which was inspired, this song was inspired by a young woman named Susan Sanford, who was a daughter of a friend of Betty's. And she went down to Canton, Mississippi during Freedom Summer and risked her life to get people to sign up to be registered to vote. And Betty couldn't go down because she had to take care of her children. She had to take care of her life here. She had to take care of her business. And so that was her outlet. That was her creativity that made her feel involved. And today, that history lives on with song and will forever go on to live, because we're going to keep this show going for the next couple decades. So you're going to hear more about us. Yeah, thank you.
Monday morning, streets are bare. Seems as how they don't want me nowhere. Since I went to the courthouse and signed my name to freedom. Daughter say you mustn't run. Sound the trumpets, the kingdom's come. Mama, go to the courthouse and sign your name to freedom. Fields of fire, cotton flaming neath the summer sky. Shrouds of white, no name naming. They don't know this dream can't die. Churches burn, deacon dead. Still I know it's like daughter said, ain't no turning back now. I done signed my name to freedom. Young folks here around my table talking through the night. Faces here I can't label, brown ones blending with the white. Sunday morning, church ain't there. Bombed it Wednesday, but I can't care. God was down at the courthouse the day I signed my name to freedom. My Lord was down at the courthouse the day I signed my name.
from the SF Black Film Festival here with us today. And without further ado, I want to have you introduce those films to us as we get this show on the road. Y'all ready to get this show on the road? Let's get this show on the road? All right. All right, all right, all right. Madame, please tell me your name again.
I'm Sabrina Eberhardt. I'm here representing the San Francisco Black Film Festival. We're just showing a couple of quick films, short films. Blackness is Everything and Reggie and June. It's an honor to be here tonight. Let's keep the history going here in the Fillmore District. I wanted to talk about how Ave Montague founded the San Francisco Black Film Festival 25 years ago. This is the year of the anniversary. So thank you all for being here and supporting us. And SOBA, tis the season of Black art, so thank you for being here. So 25 years of the San Francisco Black Film Festival, founded by Ave Montague. She passed in 2009. Her son took over. Collie Ray took over, and he passed in 2020. His daughter took over, Cree Ray took over, and it's a blessing to be here to keep the legacy going here in San Francisco, here in the Fillmore District, and we're gonna keep the art going here, and it's a blessing to be here. My mom and dad met here on this block. Bear with me, it's emotional, I'm sorry. My mom and dad met on this block, and they both passed in this year. But this block, it used to be a record shop named Melrose Record Shop. Y'all know about that? Y'all know about that. So my dad was a DJ. My mom and dad met there. And Ave, the founder of the film festival, would be proud. My dad would be proud to keep this art going here in the district. We've got to keep the art going. We've got to keep the art going.
Amen, amen, amen.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. We're good. Take your time. Tell us the name of the first piece, and then we're going to bring you back on stage.
Yeah.
What's the name of the first one?
The first one, we're going to do Blackness is Everything.
Amen. It is.
And it's a beautiful poem. It's a beautiful poem to blackness in Oakland. The second film is Reggie and June, and then it's a beautiful statement to we're blending our cultures together. And thank you for being here.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll see these first two films back to back. Hit it, William.
kick of the shoes, the tilt of the hat, the half of the moon, the back of the lap, the lottos, the bingos, the blackjack and craps. I'm everything. Black. Everything. In the silence of nights, the tears for gold, the swag that leans and forms a poverty code, and the spin of the globe on the spine of those that carries the load, that pinch and pick at the soul through the back. Oh yeah, that's me, black, on everything. The sweeter voice wrapped around saxophone prayers, the network in the corners to the office of mayor. Sending innocent eyes to the grittiest stairs, young cubs to California bears, I swear. I'm that. I'm everything. Black. I'm the southern tongue beneath the western sun. I'm the ballad, the bullet, the son of a gun. I'm the naturally herb, the bitter, the honey of buns. No pun, you know, just all the fun and fact. Blacks. I'm the space between all that. Thoughts that say somewhere my skin is peeled on the sidewalk everywhere. Sticking to the lips of heels that chew down homes and gravel with money-hungry footsteps. Stomping through the low housing outcome, where I happen to be a soul on layaway. Say my blood value high as oil do, but capital minds could cash in. I'm where the crease begins, and forgiving hands that's been bitten when smiling faces prove again and again that paper and politics are not to be friends. But see, I'm cut from a cloth that cover all such sins. Ancestral tales through the heritage of amen, amen. Say the soil know my name be true as sky blue. Or the world seem finicky about my identity. Just know the history. Before the bywords and characters had mimicked me. I'm the native, indigenous, aboriginal. The now, the back then, and the passport to infinity. See the pictographs of time is my imagery. I'm the grace of God that won't finish me. I walk lyrically. Though they try to lock, chain, seal tight my spiritual still, I pity you. Bellow of full play, a freedom song and a hyphy haiku, the Yay area turf talk ghetto gospel classic. Ooh, the generation that's been asking. I'm the absent, and most of me not written on paper for school books, except by blood on the leaves that often drink my lifelines down to its roots. I'm the sweat, the tears, the jazz fertilizing the taste of my fruit. OG stands for organic with the juice. All of me is all of you. The soul, the food, and the heaven that breathes by the way we breathe. I'm the heme, I'm clean. I'm yada I mean. Oh yes indeed, I'm everything. Black. My blackness is everything.
A Red Egg and Ginger Party celebrates the first 100 days of a new baby's life. Historically, the celebration occurred after a month-long confinement of a mom and baby following birth in an effort to avoid exposure to germs and to restore mom's health during a time of higher infant mortality rates. Quentin's Red Egg and Ginger, however, was celebrated during his second-year birthday. Hey, boo.
All right, Q, let's head to bed.
Well, that was ghetto as hell.
It wasn't ghetto, and I didn't know.
Burgers? Burgers and a red egg and ginger.
June, you act like it was fried chicken and
Oh
watermelon.
my god, say you're joking. Please say you're joking.
Do you eat burgers? June, no. Yes, no. Do you or do you not eat burgers?
On random weekdays, yes. But not on our son's day.
You couldn't decide, so I helped. I pretty much saved the event. You should be praising me. You do know that, right?
Okay, no, you didn't save anything. And you knew how hard this was for me. You knew how I struggled to find food that would authentically represent me, much less our son.
Okay, you know what? Is this what you want to hear? I messed up. I messed up, June.
No, Reg, you have to understand. Because if it's only American, then I'm a fraud. But if it's authentic Chinese, then I'm trying too hard.
Okay, let's get something through your little brain. Everyone was happy.
That's because they don't know. They don't know what a damn red egg and ginger is. I have to teach them. I'm the Chinese one. And now I have a half Chinese son who doesn't know anything about his culture. I have to teach him what it means to be Chinese. And I don't even know. This was my job, and you fucked it up.
I feel like we keep missing each other.
I think we had the first red egg and ginger in history with burgers and fries.
Probably.
And definitely the first red egg and ginger that I've attended to where the kid was 2.
Oh, okay, right. Thanks for the reminder.
Hey, Reg. But it's a memory. Yeah? A memory that we won't forget.
Okay, yeah. I understand. It just really feels like you're blaming me. It just feels like that. It's like you so intentional about this party looking a certain way and being that, but it's like your focus is on the wrong thing. Have you considered what life is going to be like for Quentin, or better yet, do you know what life is like for me?
We're back at this again.
Yes, June, we are back at this again. It's kind of important.
Are you trying to politely say that I'm not woke?
Okay, so you said if Quentin was older, a police officer would never shoot him.
Because he looks Filipino.
Right, okay.
Why are you trying to start an argument?
Yeah. You also said a police officer would never shoot me.
You would never resist arrest.
You honestly think that's why black people are getting shot?
What else would it be, Reg?
A racist cop doesn't give a damn if you're black, Filipino, Jamaican, Nigerian. If you have melanin, you're a target, period. It also shows you know it's something special about black people being the targets since you're not so worried about our Filipino son.
Our son will not live in fear like you do.
Okay, you know what? Yes, you're right, June. I live in fear. You know why? Because I live in reality. You need to start doing the same.
I know our son is black, but he's also Chinese, okay? And he should never forget that.
and society will remind him quickly he's not white.
I'm not indoctrinating our son to believe that the world is out to get him. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry.
You honestly think I want our son to be fearful of the world? I'm going to be with Pops for a while.
Where's my grandson?
He's at home sleeping.
Yeah. Quentin loves his sleep.
Yes, he does.
Would you like a little?
No, I'm good.
This is imported from France.
Trust me, Pops. I'm good. I appreciate it though.
All right now. Did you really think that burgers would be good for red egg and ginger?
You gotta be kidding me right now.
I just couldn't seem to understand that.
Okay, so how do you know what's even supposed to be at a red egg and ginger?
It's called Google, son.
Oh my gosh. Other than you and June's family, no one really knows the difference.
We all Googled it, Reggie.
You do realize we can never tell June. She would kill me in my sleep.
She probably would kill you in your sleep.
Pops, I feel like June doesn't understand.
Oh, here we go.
Or don't want to understand how I feel.
Are we gonna have this race conversation again?
I guess, yeah.
She is not black, Reggie. And you just can't run out of the house every time you have some confrontation. You have to communicate. You need to be having this conversation.
I am trying to have the conversation with her.
Try harder, son. You need to stop worrying about winning the argument. Win your wife, Reggie. You think about that. Hey, beautiful.
Hi, Dad.
Is that my grandson? Yes, it is. Hi, how are you? So good to see you. Hey, look, we'll give you guys a couple of seconds.
No. It's fine. We can just go outside.
It's okay. We'll be quick.
Come and have a seat with me, okay? Awesome. Look at that. How are you?
Okay, you want me to go first?
I feel like you're not making an attempt to understand.
Oh, I thought we would ease into it, but okay. You keep reminding me of how much I don't understand the Black experience. And honestly, I only understand the Asian one, but you think it's easy for us too?
Oh, okay, so it's not easy. Wow,
don't do that.
okay,
Don't
so
do that.
the Asian in the Bay Area. Wow, I didn't realize it was
My
so hard for
grandparents
you here.
and my parents were born here, and we're still treated like immigrants.
Me and my father both served in the military. We're not treated like citizens either.
Well, we're getting killed in the streets just like y'all. What is this really about?
Quentin, it's about our son. I want Quentin to know the truth. How can I teach him that without scaring him, though?
I don't want you to scare our son. But I don't know how, baby.
Get on the ground! Hey! Don't move! Hey! Get on the fucking ground! Hey, I'm not gonna be kicking the shitty ass anymore. I didn't do shit! You gotta get your hands off me! You gotta get out of here! Come on! Hey! Take it easy, man!
You'll have a good day.
Man, just walk straight. This is straight. You two okay?
I'll be okay.
Yeah. We're okay.
Wonderful films. Enjoy those? Enjoy those? Yeah. One second. We have one more before you, sir. Is Reggie Davis in the building? Reggie! You don't have to move. Bring you a mic. I'll bring you a mic. If we can all just focus our attention to Reggie over here. Reggie's film is next. If you would just give us a quick 30 seconds introduction of what we may be seeing. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful work.
Well, my film is a labor of love. It's 2 years in the making. I hope you can understand. I had a stroke, so it's hard for me to.
Try to speak into the mic if you can.
Sorry about that.
No, so good.
It's basically a video meditation on Black trauma. That's 30 seconds right there, right?
Go ahead.
So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Reggie Davis. Okay, and the title of it is? The title? Swimming the Psalms of Seas. Wonderful. Without further ado, Reggie Davis's film.
in order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset repetition of the events, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we are dealing in hate.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you? We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Nothing stuck up, Daddy!
We're not brutalized because we're Baptist. We're not brutalized because we're Methodist. We're not brutalized because we're Muslim. We're not brutalized because we're Catholic. We're brutalized because we are black people in America.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound through the starless midnight of racism and war. Bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality.
put Moses in jail. They put Daniel in jail. Why, you haven't got a man of God in the Bible that wasn't put to jail when they started speaking out against exploitation and oppression. And once the white public is convinced that most of the community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police exercising Gestapo tactics, stopping any black man who is on the sidewalk, whether he is guilty or whether he is innocent, whether he is well-dressed or whether he is poorly dressed, whether he is educated or whether he is dumb, whether he's a Christian or whether he's a Muslim. As long as he is black, the white public thinks that the white policeman is justified in going in there and trampling on that man's civil rights and on that man's human rights.
Such beautiful work, such beautiful, inspiring work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Reggie. Now, I would love to invite a special guest to come up and be introduced. Mr. Brian Freeman, come on up. There's a step. I got you. Of course. Hey, y'all, sir. All right. Brian has a bit of a presentation, and it's going to show a couple of clips. So, yeah. We're running a little bit late on time, but
I'll keep it
do your
short.
thing, brother.
I'm Brian Freeman. I'm working on a project called Money and Junie and Edith and Topsy. It is very much a work in progress. It is like the film earlier. It is being developed right here under the auspices of the African and African American Cultural Center with support from the Dreamkeepers Initiative, which is, I'm like, woo, yeah, that's money in the pocket, right? That's why that's happening. I'm actually going to sit here. I was asking Rodney earlier if he was, and Rodney was on Broadway in Motown, the musical, and he said he joined it like on a tour in Chicago, and then went into the New York company. Well, and I mentioned that because this project has a lot to do with another Broadway-bound musical, and I have a relationship with Broadway. I have a Tony Award that I got a long time ago. I've performed on Broadway. Thank you. I got more money from the Dreamkeepers Initiative than I did with the Tony Award. But so I'm going to show you. I'm trying not to talk too much, and in fact, my mom's last surviving relative, it's her cousin Geraldine, will be in the second clip, and that'll be about 3 minutes. And so I have two clips here, okay? The first clip is of a Broadway-bound musical that originated here in San Francisco in June of 1923. So, yeah, it's 100 years ago. So it started right at the Alcazar Theater. It was a different building than what is now known as the Alcazar Theater, because it was 100 years ago. The name of that musical is Topsy and Ava. It is a musical comedy sequel to Uncle Tom's Cabin. Yeah, well, you're gonna see it in a second. And actually, why don't we? Because I can. So this is a silent film version of that show, and so let's play the first clip, and I'll just keep talking because it's silent, right? So, thank you, but no, I know I'm working right now. But thank you. So, if we can put that up, William. Okay, well, I'll keep talking until you get it up. So that show started here in San Francisco. It toured the country. It toured the world. It played in Europe. It played all over the place. It used to travel around by train. They had its own train for the sets, the costume. It literally had a cast of, I don't know, like 100 or something, and the singers and the dancers, and and I'm sure it won't be surprising when I say there were no black people whatsoever in this show, right? It's totally blackface, and you'll see exactly that in 2 seconds. It eventually, it actually, the show toured in different versions for 30 years. And it featured a vaudeville act called the Duncan Sisters. You know about this? So yeah, there's a picture. This is from promoting the film. And here's another picture, this is when it came back to San Francisco as a nightclub act at the Club Lido. That was down in North Beach. And you can roll it whenever you're ready, but I'll just keep going. Topsy and Ava. It's the YouTube one. Okay, well, I'll show the so this is a picture of the cast, the Duncan sisters. So the woman with makeup that's a little darker than like Lena Horne's light Egyptian makeup, that is Rosetta Duncan, and that is her sister Vivian Duncan, and the young. Oh, here we go. Great. So this is from 1927, and so basically the story that you'll see being told here is a kind of ridiculous version, even more ridiculous version of Uncle Tom's Cabin than Uncle Tom's Cabin. Remember, this is a musical comedy, so feel free to laugh if you find it amusing. Yes. That was Simon Legree there, and I see. That's it. There's the Duncan sisters, and that's little Ava who's riding, and that's Uncle Tom, right? We all know about Uncle Tom, and so Simon's coming to get the slave child Topsy and sell her off. Maybe he's selling Uncle Tom off to something like that. So there they are. So, you know, in a way, this film has absolutely nothing to do with black people, right? This is entirely about white fear, white imagination, you know, you name it. Right. I don't, there's some music, but that doesn't have anything to do with this either. I don't know where that's coming from. So. There's, in Uncle Tom's Cabin, there's a whole subplot about this hat that Topsy has on, that will, I don't know why I call her Venus, I don't know what that is. So I don't know who did her hair. You know, I don't think she came over to Fillmore to get her hair done right there. So. Oh yeah. So if we were watching this in a movie theater, you know, an organ would be playing, and there would be a score, and yeah, this is the fight scene, yeah. So little Ava doesn't want her slave child to be, sent to the slave market. But, major drama, right? Giving you the drama. Ask Dad to help. Oh, there she go. There she go. Okay, so if we can stop that, and I'll just speak for 1 second. So, oh, Miss Ava's, she's gonna go cry or something like that. But yeah, nope, Topsy's off to the slave mart, and bad girl. Oh well. A new family will buy her, and we'll continue on. So, if you think about it, and you don't have to think hard or long, the character of Topsy is most in mind in the popular representation of what being a black female teen is, starting from her representation in the novel Uncle Tom's Cabin, which came out in the 1850s. This piece that I'm making is not meant to valorize in any way Uncle Tom's Cabin. It's not about that, but it is the context within which this story exists. Just a short thing. So when this show goes to Broadway, the actress who's playing a little Ava, the white girl with the Shirley Temple curls, has a baby, and when the show is running on Broadway, the baby needs a nanny. So my now late but great Aunt Edith, who was living in New Jersey at the time, gets a job as the nanny for that child. And I just held up a little bit on working on Broadway. The show goes back on tour and goes all over the world, and it comes right here to San Francisco during World War II. During World War II, as you know, they probably talked about in the Betty Sorkin piece, there were numerous opportunities specifically for women of color, African American women, to get really good jobs that were not about being nannies or being domestics. They were jobs that came with a regular paycheck and a pension. So my late great Aunt Edith let go of her brief career in show business and jumped ship from Topsy and Ava and got a job in the Presidio, working a desk job for the Army that came with a regular paycheck at good pay and a pension, which allowed her to stay here in San Francisco and marry a barber, and they had a daughter named Edith Jean, but her nickname, everyone called her Junie, and so Junie was born right here in the Fillmore at Mount Zion Hospital, and so then you have the three black women that this show is about. My mom, Money, that's her nickname. Junie, who is the daughter of, yes, I have to wrap it up. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up and just show you a second clip really quick. We'll just show a little bit of it. And so this is my mom's sister cousin, who's still alive, and this is very much an all-black production. It is an interview I did with her where she talks about, with my mom, navigating white supremacy in the South. That's okay. Anyway, that's her, but we'll hopefully make another presentation as this is in this series in February. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your family's story. This will also be, we'll make sure that's available online, and we can find more from Brian, and we'll put that on our website. Thank you so much. We're running a little bit late. Please bear with us. We have just 2 more films. The next one is, I wonder if, is it Nakia? Are you here with us? Wonderful. Come on up. Give us an introduction of your film, and then let's get to it. We're running a little over, but hey, let's do it. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Good to meet you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'll take my mask off for a second. Thank you so much to AAACC. They funded this along with the OEWD. Okay. So this is my second trip to Zimbabwe. I went there to study as a traditional healer. While I was there, I realized that every black person here on this continent needs to access this knowledge. So I requested funds to shoot a documentary, and I was fortunate enough to find a team there. This is the first series. I hope to raise money so that we can continue the work. Thank you.
And you're wonderful. Are we all set? Almost there? Wonderful.
Sign up for Paramount Plus, Stars, NFL Sunday Ticket, and a whole lot more. Find your favorite movies and TV here on YouTube.
My name is Nakia Wright, and I am a holistic practitioner born in Newport News, Virginia, and based out of San Francisco, California. I am a descendant of the kidnapped Africans who were trafficked to the Americas hundreds of years ago. I have served as a healing facilitator in the Black community for several years, and my holistic journey led me to Africa for the first time in 2021. Here I studied with the Zimbabwe National Traditional Healers Association and traveled the country learning traditional medicine, music, and dance. These experiences provided healing for my heart, my mind, and spirit that I just had to share with the rest of the diaspora. So, welcome to Afrolistic, Black Healing from Zimbabwe to the Bay.
Hello, Mr. Makatere. In that go silence in door. Not the particular ones will family play for school. In traditional dance day Faragut. Not this or Shekauja, Sigan Magariro. Tinagatine, Vamu Tiji Imba. In the area, Yando Manjiti, Changa Miram Zimuzoka. Traimbira kuti inotifungisa mazite guru edu akashaika kare kare ndozviri ndingade kutaura.
I'm Gladys Mtkanda, a teacher at Holy Family Primary School in Bohera District, Manicaland Province. I teach traditional dance. I love traditional dance because it teaches culture to the kids. Traditional dance inobetserawo futi vana kuva physical fitness. Traditional dance ndinoifarira because ini wacho inondiita kuti ndiite fit. Ndinoifarira kutamba ngoma, maridzirwo anoitwa ngoma aitwa chinyakare ndichimagona kumatraina kuvana vangu, kuimba kwaitwa chinyakare ndichidzorera culture pamazuva ano evana vemazuva ano.
I am a African traditional healer. My medium is sound, so I specialize in sound healing. However, I work extensively with herbs as well. began my journey as a traditional healer to heal myself. So I suffered from a lot of post-traumatic stress due to a lot of childhood trauma. My mom went into prison when I was 5. She got out when I was 17 or 18. And I actually was raised by the state. So I ran away with my siblings when I was 15 because our home was unsafe, and I lived with different families until I went to school. So in the States, many of the traditional practices are taught by Caucasians, and I did not feel safe learning a healing practice from a group of people who've caused so much harm to me and my ancestors. So I came here and I actually studied with Sekuru Sibanda.
Zita rangu ndoitwa Prince Mutandi Sibanda. Ndiri murapi wezinata. Ndinobatsira mabasa ekugadzira midzimu, kubvisa mweya yetsvina, zvemamhepo, tozoyawo futi zvirwere zvepamaponde izvi nezvemudzimba, ndo zvatobatsira izvozvo. Ndikati ndo mabasa angu andinobata. Ndiri murapi ari muno muHarare. Uchida kuti uyewo kuti upinde mumatare unobisawo mari yedare. Kazhinji tinoita zvokuti toita zvekubudirwa, wobuda mudzimu ndowotaura naye. Toita futi pamwe zvokuita zveakata, tochaya akata dzangu. Saka tichitsvaka kuti tione dambudziko remunhu, kuti chii chaonenge chinenge chichikunetsa chakuita kuti ufambe unotsvaka matare.
Mafuko amakapfeka anorevei?
Mafuko aya ane mazita ndeatateguru vangu inini. Mudzimu unobuda pandiri. Asekuru ivavo ndo ane machira iwaya, ndaasekuru. Ndo ane machira acho. Anozoenda achisiyana pakuti mamwe ndeemasango, evavhimi, kwamwewo kuti vemadziva vane zvavo futi. Saka vavhimi vese ivavo vemadziva mashavi, atoti mashavi, kuti kune midzimu nemashavi zvakasiyana. Zvuma izvi zvine mitauro azvo, zvimwe zvacho ndezvevarwi vehondo, zvimwe ndezvevashavi, zvimwe ndezvemidzimu, zvimwe ndezvanamanjuzi. Tinawo futi anamanjuzi vedu varipo.
And I was able to connect the sound and that practice with the practices of African traditional religion, specifically connecting with the ancestors and connecting with other spirits of the energies of the earth and how they are intermediaries to God. And so my practice continued to evolve, and what I was guided to do was really focus on the energy of the feminine. So the energy of the feminine is protection, is wisdom, and abundance. When the feminine energy controls money. And so women created money. And so in aligning with the feminine energy, I was guided after my first trip here to create a group for the women here where they could learn skills to promote themselves, their traditional businesses, and to learn how to apply for proposals and things to better themselves and their situation.
hanzi yaMachiri kana kuti mbuya Machiri. Ndakatanga basa rangu muna 1986 rekubatsira vanhu. Ndinorapa ndichiita zvekuprofita. Kana zvekuprofita zvadzikira ndinoita zvechivanhu. Saka ese mabasa angu ari vanhu.
Vachipamwe.
Tinoshanda nevanhu vakawanda asi havauyi mazuva ese. Vanouya nguva dzakasiyana siyana asi vanhu vakawanda vatinoshanda navo. Vanhu vatinoshanda navo panapa vanokwana kusvika ku100.
Paurapi hwenyu hwechiprofita unosangana papi nechivanhu uye zvinopatsanurana papi?
Urapi hwangu hwechiprofita hunoshanda pakubatsira vanorwara. Kune vasingadi zvechivanhu, vanoda zvechinamato. Ndoitawo zvechinamato. Kune vanoda zvechivanhu, ndinoitawo zvechivanhu apo neapo. Kana ndaona kuti vari kuda zvechivanhu zvakanyanya, ndinorifeya kune shamwari dzangu dzechivanhu.
Ini ndinoitwa Chipodza Ndone. Ndiri provincial secretary, office secretary wepaZinata, office yekwaMutare. Paoffice pedu pano tinoita nezveregistration yevarapi vanorapa vari kuchivanhu nevanorapa vari kuchiprofiti. Pari zvino izvi pane vakarejista tine almost 100 vanhu vakarejista vatinawo murejista medu. Uyezve pano tinoita futi nezvekurifeya vanhu vanenge vachida kubatsirwa kune vanobatsira. Vanenge vaine matambudziko akasiyana siyana anobatanidza chivanhu nechiprofiti. Tinongorifeya munhu kwaanenge achida iye kuti ari kuda chiprofiti here kana kuti ari kuda chivanhu.
Uya Niki yavasvika vauya kuzotiona vabva mhiri yemakungwa vachishanya nemhuri yavauya pano nerudo rwekuti vasanganidzane nedare rino. Tinoda kuti tiise zvanza tikwazise mhuri yasvika muno muZimbabwe paMutare kuChikanga. Kuno kwatigere semhuri inobata mumatare edu echinyakare emadziteteguru edu vaigara muno mumaZimbabwe. Asi ndinoda kutanga musati maita ndoimba chimbo chimwe chete tobva taisa zvanza tichikwasisa mhuri yavo. Vakuru vedu vekare, vakuru vedu vekare, vaipfeke mateu, ivo vachipire midzimu, ivo vaigare mumapako, vachirwire Zimbabwe. Chechikanga wedu wekare, chechikanga wedu wekare, vaipfeke mateu, ivo vachipire midzimu, ivo vaigare mumapako, vachirwire Zimbabwe. Tinokugamuchirai kuno paZimbabwe kuChikanga kwaMutare. kumakomoyo. Ndinoitwa Mbuya Ruthi Chikanga. Asi zita rekuberekwa chairo ndinoitwa Ruthi Tamudziwe Imvere. Ndakazvarwa mukati menzvimbo yekuManicaland kuno. Ndikakura ndiri kuManicaland kuno. Ndikaendawo kuchikoro. Asi nekuda kwekuti ndakazonge ndapoterwa nemhepo dzakandibata dzinova mhepo yenzvimbo ino yemadziteteguru edu vakanga vachigara mukati menzvimbo ino vakabviswa nekuda kwehondo yakauya ikabvisa hama neshamwari ikauraya madziteteguru edu ikauraya mhondoro nemasvikiro ikatamisa madzishe masabhuku nemasadunhu wenzvimbo ino. Nzvimbo ino yakanga yakanzi haichakwanisi kugara vanhu vatema. Asi nokuda kwemudzimu tinotenda kuti takakwanisa kudzoswa kuno nemhepo yemadziteteguru edu kuti tive tiri pano nemachembere amunoona akaungana muno. Vanova ndivo vane mhepo dzinobatirana nemhepo yakadendemara pamutumbi uno.
Upenyu hwevanhu huri kushanduka because vazhinji vandinorifeya vachienda kune vanhu vedu vanobatsira vanozodzoka nefeedback vachipa kutenda kwakanyanya nekubatsirwa kwavanenge vaita.
Okay, we're back, and I'm going to try to call a really amazing dancer, ballet dancer, actually, contemporary ballet dancer and artist. He also writes plays and all kinds of amazing stuff. His name is Robert Henry Johnson. So we're going to try to call Robert. Hello? 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 How are you, man? This is...
Very, very quickly, thank you for all who stayed. We just want to give a quick introduction. This is the last piece. This is Nakia Wright. No, this is Shantae Salisbury. This piece is about Robert Henry Johnson. And without further ado. Are you still here? Hey, do you want to come up and speak? You're here, yes. Well, know that this is live too, streamed. So this is not just the people in this room. There are people watching it online and people who are watching it at another time, but it's all being encapsulated with our Season of Black Art because we have the cameras moving and they're recording everything. So set us up. Yeah.
Real quick, y'all. Thank you guys for staying and finishing this off. So this is my cousin who passed away this year, Robert Henry Johnson. He was a professional, amazing ballet dancer, playwright. He was just an amazing artist, an author, not an author, He owned his own dance company. Well, say that again, Rodney. He was amazing, and I didn't think that I could put his video tribute on because his life was just so big, and he was just so full of life. I thought it would take me a year to make his tribute for his memorial, but as I was in my emotions about his passing, I went on his Facebook and I was just, reminiscing, and I literally saw the tribute through everything he posted on Facebook. So I made it in 5 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. That's on my YouTube, so you guys can watch at your own time. But this one, I submitted part 2, so you'll get an idea of his personality, who he was, and he was amazing. Thank you.
Okay, we're back, and I'm going to try to call a really amazing dancer, ballet dancer, actually, contemporary ballet dancer and artist. He also writes plays and all kinds of amazing stuff. His name is Robert Henry Johnson. So we're going to try to call Robert. Hello? Hello?
Hey, hello?
How are you, man? This is Will.
Hey, good morning.
So guess what? You're being recorded right now for my podcast.
Oh, really? This is a real podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, America.
Hello to you.
Well, introduce me. Come on now, don't just be America.
I kind of did.
You know what? I am going to have to train this man. When you call somebody to be on your podcast, you go, hey, Robert Henry Johnson, the most amazing dancer in the whole wide world, the choreographer I love the most.
You don't think I said that? I said that before I called you. I said, I'm going to call this amazing contemporary ballet dancer.
I'm sorry.
He's a playwright. He's an artist. Overall,
you're supposed to let me hear it.
You're just like a Renaissance man, because that's why I said, man, I'm going to call this fool, because I want to hear about his experience.
I had to really figure out what this thing meant to me. What does this thing mean to me as we go for this thing? For me, it was like, man, at that time, I had to dance. Like, nobody was going to stop me. Wow. There was no one or nothing that was going to get in my way.
Right.
But I had a vision of something that I wanted to share with people.
Wow.
And for me, it had some connection with God. I knew it was a gift.
To be gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted, and black. Open your heart to what I mean, to what I mean. 'Cause you know, in this whole wide world, there's a million boys and
appreciate you, and you're a beautiful soul. All right, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, man. I appreciate it.
All right, peace out.
God bless you. Happy New Year.
So that was my friend, my dear friend, Robert Henry Johnson. He's a good guy, man. I really do appreciate him.
I'm really glad that I loved my mom, and I'm really glad that she loved me. You understand, I'm an only child, and I've been real close with my mom. I'm not a kid or a little boy, but I'm a man whose heart is tender, because that's how I was raised. And I just really appreciate the way that you guys just respect where I am and who I am.
How does the best basketball player of all time make more money?
That
in
really
his
slapped me in the
than when
face
he was
at the
playing
end of the
basketball?
night.
Let me tell you, it's
Thank
not
you,
what you
Shantae.
think. It's because he makes a special kind of.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you all who stuck around for the very, very end of our evening. I know it's been a long 4.5 hours. Thank you so much for jamming out for the Season of Black Arts, celebrating Black theater and Black film. With that, good night.